They did this because, like any digital-first company needs to know, their app is their business. And so with that, I'd like to invite up Marisa Shumway and Amod Gupta to show you how AppDynamics can change the role of your IT organizations and your developers and make them true partners to the business and make them true business owners. Marisa?
So I'm so happy to be here today, and I came to AppDynamics from an analytics company, and certainly big data is important. It can tell you what markets you should be in, who your best customers are, but really it's backwards looking. It's looking at the past. It can take teams of data scientists to unearth the value and tell you what's happening with your business, or it can take teams of developers sifting through log files, and they have to know the problem and the question in advance. And really, none of this data is actionable immediately. Well, Business IQ is none of those things. And that's why it's so special. That's why it's so powerful. Business IQ helps you understand and act on what's happening in your business right now, every moment, in real time. It takes all of the data and all of the code that's flowing through EUM and APM and the infrastructure and makes it immediately available so that you can take action. Unlike any other big data platform or analytics tool, Business IQ is really at the front lines. It's where the application and the business converge. It's where customers are being won or lost every moment. So it's a really critical tool, and I am very excited to welcome my partner, Amod, up to the stage.
Thanks, Marisa.
And we'll take the next 10 minutes to take you through Business IQ. So we are using the same application that you saw earlier from John and Adam, which is the AppDynamics application. And you see that we're starting with the user experience, because as an application owner, that's what I care about most. And Amod is already a customer. You can see him logging in. You can see that he already looks great, but he's picking a blazer for himself, and he's adding that to the cart. And then we'll see he'll add his payment details, and we will get to payment confirmation and ultimately go through to checkout. That's what I really care about, that order confirmation. So now we have our conversion funnel here. And let's take a look at how we're instrumenting this application from the AppDynamics side. So you can see the controller, and you can see how we have this application view here, the same view that that Adam and John showed you earlier. This is the application flow map. And then we'll move to the business transaction, which really is the foundation for Business IQ. And actually, Amod was the product manager when we first started to think about Business IQ. Why don't you tell the audience a little bit about the history of Business IQ?
Yeah, we've been in the application performance monitoring space for a while. We've been instrumenting customer applications, extracting a lot of performance-relevant data. A couple of years ago, we realized our customers were using info points and data collectors in a way that augmented their performance data with business insight. We realized we were sitting on a treasure trove of business information and wanted to extract it to provide more insights to our customers. That's really how Business IQ came about.
Yeah, great. OK. So now that we have our business transactions, which have been automatically generated and will be dynamically updated, we can pick a business transaction. And Amod, why don't you tell the audience how we set up Business IQ?
Setting up Business IQ is really simple. You can click on Analytics, go to Configuration, pick and choose the app that you want. In this case, I'm going to pick e-commerce. That's the app that you've been shown so far. Check this box to enable Business IQ. By default, we select all the transactions in your system, but you can remove the ones you don't want. You can also very easily extract business insights by setting up data collectors. Here, as an example, I've set up a data collector to collect return values and method parameters from this class and this method. As an example, let's look at the order total that I'm extracting from the return value of this method.
OK, great. So now that we have our data collectors, as an application owner, I'm going to want to understand how I can get this into my next release.
Yeah, you can do this without any source code changes. You can do this at runtime.
Great. So this is a pivotal thing. It shows you how Business IQ was created to be a real-time feedback loop. I want to be able to move fast, always. I want answers immediately. I don't want to have to wait for source code changes. I want to be able to ask questions right away. So this is huge. This is one of the first points of Business IQ. So let's go ahead and ask some questions. What is our average order total?
All right. Let's use the AppDynamics query language to figure out just that. I'm going to filter all the transactions in my system to the app that I'm interested in, which is the e-commerce app. And then just look at the average order total.
Great. OK, so you can see the metrics streaming in.
Yeah, this is the average order total. You can save this as a search, but if you're going to want to use this again and again, you can also create a metric from it, which will cause this query to execute once every minute. In fact, let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to add this as a metric. Let's call it the average order total metric. Hit save.
Right.
You can go into our metric system and see all the metrics that have been created so far. These metrics are stored in the same big data platform that performance metrics go into, our Signal IQ platform. And one of the things that our customers love about AppDynamics, every metric that goes into that platform is automatically baseline, including your business metrics.
Great, OK. So now I can see those metrics streaming in. And I'm going to want to know, how is this metric performing? I want to be able to get some information about my business health. So how do we do that?
Yeah, you can set up health rules on these metrics just the way you would set up health rules on performance metrics. Let's quickly set up a health rule. Call it the average order health rule. I'm going to pick the metric we just created. By default, AppDynamics creates a number of baselines for you to compare your metrics to. You can create your own baseline if you want. In this example, I'm just going to pick the default baseline. And let's say I want to be alerted when my metric deviates by 2 standard deviations. Hit save, and that's it. You've got your health rule.
OK, great. So we baselined our business performance, just like we can baseline our application performance. So now that I can see this coming in, how can I be alerted? What are my options for being alerted about this?
Yeah, when these health rules violate, we can alert you by sending you a text, by sending you an email, or even sending you a message in Slack. But if you're more of a visual person and wanted to see the status of this health rule, you can set up a dashboard and have a widget on it. Let's set up a test dashboard and do exactly that.
Great.
I'm going to pick a simple health rule widget, hook it up with the health rule we just created, hit save, and that's it. You've got the status of your health rule.
OK, excellent. So we have a big green circle, which is great. That's very simple. This means that I can look over at a glance and see what's happening with my business. So if it's amber, it would tell me that I need to worry about something. If it's red, obviously it's an alert. So that's what I want that there for. So everything that we've done so far has come from this high-level business transaction perspective. But as a business owner, I really want to understand how every single user is experiencing my application. So whether it's iOS or Android or an iPad app, I really want to get in and understand what they're experiencing. So let's show the audience a little bit about our user sessions.
Yeah, user session data set is one of the most important data sets in Business IQ. One of the things our customers most popularly do with that data set is conversion analysis. And our funnel widget is the heart of that. So let's fire that one up next.
Great.
So far, everything that you've been seeing, we've been doing using business transaction. Let's switch over to browser sessions now. As a starting point, I want to see how many users landed on our home page. I'm going to add the home page as the first step.
Great. So you can see how Amod is actually, he's picking the exact page that he wants. It's immediately available for him there. And over on the right-hand side, you can see those users that have successfully logged in. And on the left-hand side, you're starting to get a picture of those that have abandoned. So this is really useful information. You can see on the right-hand side, those that are successfully coming in. And then on the left-hand side, those that aren't, and those that are abandoning. So now we're building our funnel here.
That's right. This is a very simple funnel. You can see the number of users at each step. You can see the number of abandoners at each step. And most importantly, at the bottom of the funnel, you can see your overall conversion rate. I'm going to title it and save it back to the dashboard.
OK. this is great. So now we have our conversion funnel. And for those of you who aren't marketing people, conversion funnel is something that marketers really live and die by. This is important for us to be able to see at a glance how users are experiencing the application and how they're moving through it well. So now we have two widgets. We have a big green circle, and we have our conversion funnel. But it's really important whether you're an IT person or an application owner in DevOps or a business person, you want to be able to communicate information very well and very quickly. And so let's assume that I wanted to show David, my CEO, something. Can you make something both pretty and useful in these dashboards?
You know, I'm not a designer, Marisa. I don't know about pretty, but I do have a dashboard that I spent a couple of hours on to show you the health of our business. This is a real-time dashboard. You just saw it update. What you're seeing here is total number of sales on the top left, total number of customers who visited our website in the last 15 minutes, numbers of orders placed, average order value. And each of this is baselined, and we have a health rule for each of these metrics. At the bottom, you can see the segmentation of your customers by type. You can see the user sessions over time. And on the bottom right, you have a calculated value, cart yield.
OK, great. And all of this is real time. This is happening live. So the data is in motion, and it's flowing. It'll update as it's live. So everything looks green. Everything looks great in our business. But let's assume for a moment that things aren't going so well.
Yeah, you know, things go wrong from time to time. Well, this is live production data. And part of the challenge with demoing something live is it's very hard to trick it on stage. A few hours earlier, though, I noticed that our orders placed metric had deviated from baseline. This is what the dashboard looked like at that point in time. You can see everything else is green. Only the health of the orders placed metric is red, indicating something was wrong. And this is where you can use the full power of the conversion funnel to figure out exactly what went wrong. I have linked this dashboard to another one, which is a full set of funnel, all the steps that a customer would go through on the AppD website. You can see the number of users at each step. You can also see the health rule against the number of users at each step. On the right-hand side, you can see all the back-end transactions that power each and every single one of these pages. And these are the health rules against those transactions. Immediately, I noticed that the number of customers submitting payment information is deviating from baseline. I can also see that the number of customers confirming is deviating from baseline. It also looks like that the health of my confirmed transaction is red. So most likely, that's the cause of the customer deviations. Let's drill down and look at what's going on with our confirmed transactions. I have linked this to a AppDynamics query language search. This is the same search you just saw a moment ago. I'm filtering all the confirmed transactions with user experience error. I can open one up, drill down to the call stack. If I have an error, which I do in this case, I can go into error details and actually look at the call stack and the error stack trace.
OK, this is a huge moment, because this is unlike any other analytics or big data platform or tool that you're using to look at what's happening with your performance. Because not only did we see what was happening in our business, we saw that there was a problem, but we were able to immediately get to the call graph, to the exact line of code, and to fix this immediately.
That's right.
So this is huge. One of the things I noticed is that sometimes there's a problem with the IT performance. It could be an API, it could be a server, something's going wrong from the IT perspective. But sometimes it's not always an application performance issue. Sometimes it's a business performance issue. So sometimes it's me, Amod. It's not you, it's me.
You're not going to get any arguments from me on that. Sometimes it's definitely you. AppDynamics may not be able to replace all your BI tools, but when things like that happen, we can alert you in real time and show you information about all the users that are getting impacted. For example, in this case, I could show you the names and email addresses of the users that were getting impacted by this. I could also download and export this list as a CSV. I could go back to my conversion dashboard, and actually, let's switch to a time range which shows you a business performance issue. You would see something like this if there was a business performance issue that was not caused by an application's performance. You can see the health of all the transactions on the right-hand side is green. Even so, the number of customers confirming orders is deviating from baseline. In situations like these, we may not be able to pinpoint exactly what's wrong with your business, but we can still alert you in real time and send you messages or text or emails so that the team can swarm and take appropriate actions.
Okay, that was pivotal. I saw that you sent me that CVS file there because there was users that were abandoning and we didn't see them right there. They were about to give us our money, then they didn't. And you sent me that CVS file. So that's really important for me because it's those pivotal moments where brand equity is won and lost. And so if my IT person is able to give me the names of those customers and I can go and win them back immediately, that is a huge moment for me. That means that those customers that didn't get the Tom Ford jacket that they wanted before, I can now reach out to them and get them. Great. Okay, so I think that we've seen everything here from a business IQ perspective. We have our application performance on one side and our business performance on the other side. We're able to get the information that we need immediately so that we can drill down and not only understand what's happening, but why it's happening in the business. So this is really the future of how business and IT will work together. This is how modern businesses will be able to solve these application problems immediately. Yeah. So I want to thank Amod so much for being here today. And thank you, Amod.
Great. Thank you, Marisa.
Thanks.
Stay up here. Also, a couple quick questions from Marisa to just emphasize a couple points. Thank you, Amod. First thing, toward the end, we ended on this idea that things can impact the business performance that aren't app performance related. Talk a little bit more about that. Like, what are some examples of that, and how important are they to you as a marketer? Sure. So one of the things that you were seeing up on the stage when we lost that those transactions and those files, he was able to see that certain customers were affected. And that day, we could assume I was running maybe a pricing promotion, or I was, offering some new promotions. And so that would help me understand, now that we know that it's not an application performance issue, we know it's a business performance issue. Right. And just like DevOps teams swarm on the application issues, I can look at my pricing channel or whoever it is and make sure that I can solve that issue right away. And it could be, like you said, there might have been a pricing change. There could also be an application change that performance is fine, but it changed the dynamics of how users were interacting with the application. That could have an impact. Your competitor could have a pricing campaign going on. Lots of things that could impact, but the immediacy matters. Yeah. Why, as a marketer, just go back to this idea that we keep talking about monitoring as opposed to analyzing. And alerting you immediately. How important is that to you? Yeah, I mean, data is great, but it's not great if you have to think about it and you have to contemplate and you have to spend a lot of time, wondering who these customers are. What's so important with Business IQ is that you're getting that data right away. You're able to act immediately, and those truly are the moments where customer loyalty is won and lost. So. Great. Absolutely. Yeah, and that idea of the perishability of data and the ability to act on it immediately to go remediate customers. That's really what Business IQ is about, bringing together the marketer and IT to act on behalf of the customer. Great. Thank you, Marisa. Thank you so much.